Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome into the Winklerverse. Bart Winkler, Grant Bills, Paul Immig, back for this week's as we have a lot on the docket. Oh, do we ever?
So much.
We got the NBA Finals that have come and gone. 18 days of chatter about. Oh, fuck, I said chatter.
I was going to say, you can't say chatter. That's
18 days about. Tim. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Winklerverse. It's Bart Winkler, Paul Immig, Grant Bills. Wow, it's so good to be here live, fresh off the bat. First time starting. No, there's a lot going on. You got the NBA draft coming up. I just put I like in my phone, even though I don't know. I don't go to any of them and I don't care. I do like to manually enter into my phone calendar the dates that the Packers are practicing in training camp. I do like to know that. And also you got Paul Skenes and Jacob Misiorowski, their first of what could be maybe 3 or 4 matchups before Skenes gets traded to the Yankees. But it should be a good one. And I'm using a Kids Crew voucher. I figured it out. I'm getting in the door. I paid $1 fee to sit in 417.
Oh,
I will probably just go sit in the outfield for 6 innings and then leave. But I do want to be there. I want to say I was there. I want to make sure I have the printed ticket that I can say I was there.
Are you going solo?
Yeah, probably. And I may not even go. For $1, I've given myself the option.
This is one.
I'm not paying for park. If I go, I'm not paying for parking. I'm going to park on Blue Mountain Walk. I'm not going to eat anything in there. I just dropped. I just dropped gourds of money at Wrigley last week with my kid and a couple of buddies.
On tickets, or what was the expensive part?
Tickets, feeding your kids, playing the raffle, getting the beers, going to a restaurant after.
So just all of it, the trip as a whole. I didn't know if the tickets were an arm and a leg or if you guys did
We went mini golf the next day. My kid got a hole-in-one.
Nice.
Congrats.
I cocked off at these guys I was with. I go, I'm really good at this. And then I hit a hole-in-one right away. And then the next 4 holes later, I had a 6.
Grant, do you know Bart's mini golf history?
Lore?
Lore?
No, I do not.
I ran a league in high school at a building in town, and then
you
ran
a league in high school?
Yeah, putt and stuff. And then they closed down our first season. We had 18 people, 6 teams of 3. And then we had a fall season, then a winter season. And then we upped it up to 36 because it was some indoor place where if you had 5 people, you could get it for $2 a guy. So we're like, okay, we'll bring 36. And then after that first week, they close. Now that they're probably like, we don't want all these fucking kids here. We don't want all these youths around. And then I did a mini golf league in Milwaukee. I took second, but did win 2 of the 4 majors. And then I'm good at mini golf. If anybody needs a scramble partner for a golf, I am the guy who I'll hit a safe drive 150 down the middle, just in case, so you can do whatever. The middle game is going to be nothing. You'll get nothing out of me. You might as well just let me drive to the green.
We're talking about real golf now.
Yeah.
It's not
real golf. If anyone needs a
inches.
4th. Yeah. I'll give you 150 drive down the middle. And on the green, I'll putt first and either make it or give you a really nice read. I can read
my next question. Does this translate over to putting in actual golf? Sounds like it does. It's good.
For some reason, I can read a green like I'm reading Charles Dickens. It all makes sense to me.
Bart,
well, I want to go golfing together sometimes, and now you have instilled in me great expectations.
Bart, how many times did you actually golf in the SSP outing?
And then afterwards, my wife will say, "How was the round?" And I'll say, "Well, it was the best of times. It was the worst of times."
Paul, what were you saying? Ignore this.
How many times did you do the SSP outing, Bart?
How many times did I do it?
Did you actually golf it?
5?
Okay.
You know what always pissed me off about that? I'm on 1250 WSSP. Okay. Every one of these people is like on the air, talking all day. It's what we do. We need someone to just like MC the ceremony at the end. I don't want to. I don't want to do that. Oh no, I couldn't. I had to do it every time because nobody else wanted to.
Wait a minute.
This is our job.
Every time I was asked to golf it, Wicket was the MC.
Well, so then post Wicket, I became the MC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you wouldn't have never been in one with me, right?
Nope.
Hmm.
The first
Did
year
you MC the year you dumped your shorts?
Yes.
You MC'd with crap in your pants?
No, I pooped on the way home.
Right. Come on, Grant.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
The first year I was
It wasn't like a big poop. It was enough that I threw the shorts away.
First year I did it, I was like, the quote unquote celebrity person, and I already hated that part of it. And then I got paired with John Greenberg from the Admirals, and he was paying. I was like, I think our roles are reversed. We can, I felt very, thanks for sticking me with the person who could be on the other side of like the paying versus attending as a.
Well, everybody that plays in that thing is like, maybe we'll get paired up with Leroy Butler.
Totally. And then I honestly,
it's like, with all due respect,
totally,
it's like
100%.
Scott Grodsky. With
John and the
God
other Admirals people, John and the other Admirals people were so nice. I was still very, very, very early in my career, and I felt so bad. Genuinely, this is not like a self-deprecating. I was like, I felt bad. Like, you could have had Leroy, you got me, and I'm really sorry. And we'll try to have fun and make the best of it. And John and the rest of his people were so cool about it, and I felt bad the whole time. No, and not only that, not only am I just me and not Leroy or others, but also I'm bad at golf. So I'm like the worst thing you could have possibly been paired up with. Sorry again.
One more note about bodily functions, just as I'm trying to find a time to fit it in here today. I did announce. Well, I've been crowdsourcing this take with a few friends, and I haven't got any takers. But Carlos finally agreed with me on the show last night. I said, at home, if I have to go number one, I just sit down.
Yeah, I've heard you say. I must have heard you say that at some point. It sounds.
If I'm at home, I just sit down, and then good old KS on Blue Sky yesterday said, after hearing my guy Bart Winkler .bsky.social briefly discuss this topic on his nationwide top-rated radio show, I proudly make the following proclamation. I sit down to pee. More relaxing, no brainer, no mess. Only at home, though. I stand anywhere else. And I replied to him, why build a castle if you don't sit on the throne?
That's good. Look, I'll admit to this as well. When I sit down when I go at home too, because I get a little phone time.
Yeah, okay, you do.
And I have to clean it. It's my toilet. So like, Grant, just pee in the bowl. Well, no shit. Thank you. Okay. But you don't have perfect control. And then after
a little dribbler in there, double dribble. Now,
when I am in public and I'm not responsible for cleaning the toilet, I use the restroom at the Summerfest grounds before the headliner last week. There may as well have not even been a toilet in that stall because I don't think I even looked. And I was not the first person to do that, which is why I felt comfortable doing it. But at home, I'm going to keep it clean. Why build a castle if you can't?
Do you sit every time
that I pee?
Yeah.
At home.
Every time.
Yeah.
And Grant, you're saying you do it every time as well.
Yeah. Like maybe there's I don't know.
Like, I know.
You know what? I'll chart it.
There are going to be someone listens and like, this is like, like a man card thing. Like, I don't give a shit from that. But like, I'm not like, oh my God, you two losers. But like,
what do you do? What do you want to do? You want to stand there, oversee your ween like you're looking over all that at the Pride Lands? Like you're fucking Mufasa?
Everything the piss touches.
Or do you just want to like sit down, look at your phone? And with kids, it's like the longer you're in the bathroom, the longer you're alone.
So you know how great it is to poop because you have that time for yourself? Well, A sitting pee doesn't give you as much free time as a poop, but it gives you a nice, it's a snack. It's not a meal, but it's a good snack.
What's your excuse, Grant, with no kids?
Efficiency, leisure.
Leisure, efficiency, cleanliness. And also, if we're watching a show and we're in between episodes, maybe I want just to check Twitter for 2 minutes. Is that a crime? I don't think so.
Yeah.
But if I do it while we're watching the show, then I'm not present and I'm not,
with Grant and I specifically, we have these jobs that's like we're on the clock 24/7. And we got to like be on our phone when we're in the shower, when we're taking a pee. I mean, you don't even like get to see your family. I haven't seen my son since St. Patrick's Day.
Sometimes I'm checking my phone when I'm intimate.
Yeah. I once turned down sex to break a trade rumor.
Wait, Grant, you're not married.
That's true. Sometimes I just want to turn my brain off for 2 minutes and go. Us kids call it going nonverbal. Sitting down to pee is a good 2 minutes to just go nonverbal.
Okay.
And I cannot stress this enough. I don't like cleaning up my own piss, especially once it's been dried. Like that's as far as this conversation needs to go. Luckily, we're 11 minutes into the podcast.
Yeah, we're up against it. Paul?
All right. Let's go with some NBA. Last week we did like the list of with Pacers and Thunder player that you could add to the Bucks.
Yeah, mine had 0 points in Game 7.
I thought mine aged rather well, actually. I felt proud of my answer.
Yeah, well, I guess so. Toppin is still really good, obviously, Bart, to your point of who you picked. This week I want to look at, because I thought this was a really challenging exercise. I want to go through the Bucks players, and you're going to say, that they would have gotten minutes on either the Pacers or the Thunder in the finals.
Wow.
And so if you say, it means they would have played for either one. I don't even care which one. And I think the challenge was like
10 minutes.
Spoiler alert. There aren't a lot who I think would have gotten.
Are we talking like a Ben Shepherd kind of role?
Any role, right? So like it doesn't have to be.
I'm thinking like a Ben Shepherd, Aaron Wiggins kind of role. I'm not thinking like a Tony Bradley maybe plays twice in a series.
Sure. Right. So let's start with the obvious. Giannis Antetokounmpo would have played for the Thunder or the Pacers in this series. Okay.
You know what I think about a lot, Grant, is when you said that if the Pacers took out Siakam and put in Giannis, oh my God.
Yeah, it'd be the best fit for him in the league.
Yeah.
Hey, quick. I want to interrupt this real quick just to say that there's an NBA trade, a real one. Jordan Poole is a Pelican. CJ McCollum is a Wizard.
What?
It's McCollum, Olynyk, a future second for Poole, Sadiq Bey, and a second. So essentially, for all intents, McCollum for Poole and Bey.
Huh.
Two stinky teams.
Does that help anyone?
I don't think so.
I don't have one sentence to add on to that.
I don't either.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of anything, whether it's
that's what I'm going to say tonight.
witty.
I'll say we were talking on the show and we had nothing to add.
And I love NBA trades, and I'm like, okay.
Maybe I'll even play this particular clip of audio.
I like that. You should.
On the show, and the Into the Winkler-verse clip can air on the Bart Winkler show.
There you go.
You should, and maybe I'll cut this and play it on the Wisco Sports Show tonight that's available across affiliates all over Wisconsin, but it streams on my Twitter as well. You should play this
then
clip.
I'll clip that, and we'll which
a
Bart
little winkception.
Sure, there you go. Okay, so obviously,
but with the Drew trade,
yeah, go for wait. Okay, go ahead.
Did I not like the Bucks traded Drew to the Portland Trailblazers, and everyone yelled at them for trading them to the Celtics, but they didn't do that.
Correct.
The Celtics trade Drew to the Blazers, and all of a sudden Brad Stevens is knighted.
I will say I don't know how. You won't like this. I don't know how Brad Stevens pulled that off.
No, I don't either.
I don't know what the Blazers' impetus is for that. It's like
they want to get they want to have a veteran lead guard who can make them 500 next year. I mean, like I kind of get it, Simons is duplicative of Sharp and other guys, and like he's going to be a free agent next year. They want someone who can run the team competently. Drew can obviously do that, make young players better just by putting them in the right spots. But you're committing to like 2 more years at $70 million for Drew and giving up, it's only second-round picks, but it was a good trade for Boston, which sucks. And Brad Stevens is very good at this. Okay, so Giannis would obviously play for the Pacers or Thunder. The answer is also obviously for Dame, but I want to sidebar that for a second and say, if you put Dame on the Pacers and if you put Dame on the Thunder, where does he fit? What does he do? Like, what would his role?
So Dame,
is he coming off the bench for the Thunder?
No, he's not coming off the bench either.
Just put him in the CJ McCollum role.
What's that role?
Not CJ McCollum, the other one. You know who I'm talking about.
Wait, which team?
Shit.
Which team?
The Pacers. TJ McConnell. See, they're close. TJ McConnell. Put him in the CJ McCollum role. Just come off.
Dame's got to start. But where does Dame play next to SGA and Tyrese?
I don't know.
I don't think he does.
And at this point in Dame's career, he's a lesser player than both. Is Damian Lillard, the Bucks' second best player, a sixth man on both NBA Finals teams? Or
Wow. Jeez, it does feel like when they talk about these 3 guys that blew their Achilles, like Damian's that dragon that looks like,
yeah,
you know.
But that's partially because you're talking Tatum 27, Tyrese 25, and then you're like, oh well, sure, it makes more sense to tear it at 36, 35, whatever Dame is. Okay, let's go through the rest of the Bucks roster. Bobby Portis would have played meaningful minutes for the Thunder or Pacers in the NBA Finals. Or
And they already have Hartenstein and Chet.
They have everyone. They have Toppin, right? Like they have, right? Like I would put Toppin over Bobby.
I think he plays more for the Pacers than the Thunder.
Probably. Like if he's on the Thunder, he's probably getting like those few handful of Kenrich Williams minutes instead.
Oh, Jesus.
He's Miles Turner-ish. Ish. He's more like Miles Turner than Chet or Hartenstein. Can we just say Hartenstein? I know that's not how it's pronounced, but
I'm proud of everyone that shits on me. I never miss a Hartenstein.
Yeah,
never.
Proud of you.
Never.
Proud of you.
I think it's a Doris Burke thing, but barely, I guess, is my answer.
Yeah. The answer might be like he barely plays. AJ Green would have played meaningful minutes in the NBA Finals for the Pacers or Thunder. Well,
he's probably like
Isaiah
Joe.
Is he getting like Ben Shepherd's minutes?
That's the comp that I thought of.
Yeah, but Shepherd's better than Green.
Yeah.
Is he? I don't. You have Ben Shepherd opinions. Half of these names that you're naming, I'm like, I know that's a name of a guy that's on the Thunder, but I could not.
On the Pacers
lineup. Or the Pacers.
I do.
You really do. That was
when I went.
I knew Shepherd is on the Pacers.
When I went to Game 1 last year, where Dame had like 35 points in the first half and 2 points in the second, and the Pacers brought in this. My brother and I were like, why the fuck is this guy wearing number 26 kicking our ass?
Who was it? Shepherd?
Ben Shepherd.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Ben Shepherd. Who the fuck is Ben Shepherd?
But at the very least, I think if we were to debate AJ Green, probably those minutes, and then for the Thunder, I mean, like probably would be the 6 minutes in the series that Isaiah Joe got, right? Like
he could have played, but I don't. And I think this
maybe
is
Wiggins.
Question. Neither coach is like, thank God we have a guy who can do that. You know what I mean? Like we were missing that skill set. Either coach, AJ Green could probably play for both. Swap him out with those names, but it's not like he's bringing anything unique to either team that they don't already have.
This conversation is going to make me swing the pendulum to trade Giannis now.
Welcome.
Sucks.
Welcome to the team. Yeah, I mean there is a disparity in over, and the thing is like the only player on the Pacers or the Thunder that's in Giannis's league is SGA. So then you can have less depth and you can have less overall of a quality roster and make up for it because you have Giannis, but it's pretty bad. Kevin Porter Jr. would have played any minutes for the Thunder or Pacers in this series.
Again, maybe the TJ McConnell role, but that's it.
But you'd rather have McConnell for sure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So he might play that role, but if you had both, you'd play McConnell.
Yes.
Me too. Gary Trent Jr. would have played minutes in the NBA Finals for the Pacers or Thunder. Again, maybe I would play
Trent's like a Neesmith to me,
but not a lot lesser, like a 90% version.
Or he would have been like Cason Wallace.
That's a name that I heard during the broadcast when I was watching the games.
He started the first 2 games.
Sure.
For some
not
reason.
that the broadcast didn't share that, so I take no blame for not knowing that.
Here's an interesting one. Although he's I think he's played his last game as a Buck pretty obviously, but Brook Lopez would have played meaningful minutes. Who are you not putting in because you have the option to put in Brook Lopez?
Oh, nobody. We're being so dismissive that we just want franchise icon out of town.
You add Brook Lopez to either roster. Whose minutes is Brook taking? Honestly.
Nobody.
Tony Bradley.
Chet.
What?
Chet. Okay. We are digging at 2 different things. He could do what Chet has done. Chet was a defense merchant this whole series. Like they got nothing from him on offense. So he could do the Chet thing, but that's not your question. So I'll correct myself and say probably.
I guess ultimately what I was thinking of was like, if there was like a draft and the Pacers and Thunder get to just take Bucks and they get to add them into that series, how many of these Bucks are actually would have played outside?
Meanwhile, if the Bucks could draft in reverse, Jalen Williams that rides the bench would play 25 a game.
Yeah, totally. I mean, okay, let me ask you one more, and this is probably the most painful one. Kyle Kuzma, arguably the Bucks' third best.
You totally forgot. I wasn't even like waiting for it.
When you
I didn't even remember.
My brain processed Kyle Korver, and I'm like, what's Paul doing? He must be going for something here. And then, Kyle Kuzma is a real person who's on our team.
Kuzma plays no minutes.
And I mean, let me ask you this. Going in the next season, let's just, Dame's healthy, presumably. Kyle Kuzma is the Bucks' 3rd best player on next year's team.
I don't appreciate you walking us down this primrose path. Don't manipulate us into drawing a conclusion that you want us to draw.
I'm not trying to. This is like what went in my head. Like, oh my goodness, like because I went into the Pacers series with the Bucks and be like, yeah, they can. I mean, I don't know if they will win this series against the Pacers, but I think the Bucks could win the series against the Pacers. And then you watch 20.
I was not expecting this kind of Oliver twist.
I don't know if Paul even picked up on that bit the first time.
Kyle Kuzma would have played minutes in this series for either team.
Not on purpose. Maybe like there's 2 minutes left.
No, but so I agree. And then answer this one. Kyle Kuzma going in the next season is the Bucks' 3rd best player.
No.
Who is?
Well, are you not counting Dame?
No, I'm counting Dame. Giannis 1, Dame 2. Who's 3?
Bobby.
Yikes.
Trent.
Who they have to re-sign.
Whoever they draft tomorrow.
What about that guy? What about Tyler Smith? Didn't they draft someone?
They drafted Tyler Smith. There's no doubt about that. God, Andre Jackson Jr. Do you want to play the Pat Connaughton picked up his player option.
I think he was going to pick that one up.
$9.4 million? Sure. Anyway, Bart, this is why, or it's a reason why, though I know Giannis is not being traded, though I'm very appreciative and happy for his loyalty. It is why, going back a month and a half ago when we first had the Giannis conversation, before he was, for the first time in his career, open to being traded, at least for the purpose of Shams' social media. It is why I'm like, I don't think this team is doing anything now, and it's going to take several. If Giannis is willing to wait a while for this team to be rebuilt. Anyway, there's a talent disparity. There you go. There's the.
I don't appreciate you walking us from player to player and making us confront. I mean, this is like a Christmas Carol, Paul. It's a little dark. I don't appreciate it.
Sorry. Any other thoughts on this terribly depressing topic?
Yeah, that's about it.
I sent this to you guys because, Bart, I don't know if you are actually going to activate this for the Bartometer, so we'll do it here, and then if you choose to do it for the Bartometer, great. But I did put together in light of Halliburton's injury, what I think the likelihood is of the teams in the East winning the East next year. It was a bad conference before Tatum got hurt. It was a worse conference after Tatum got hurt. It was a terrible conference, and then Halliburton gets hurt. And like Dame, the Bucks are arguably he's the second best player on the East's fifth, sixth best team. Tatum is the best player on the East's first or second best team. Halliburton is the best player on the one of the East's two best teams, if not best team. They should probably deserve to be called the East best team right now. So then I went through and I said, like, okay, I wanted to power rank the likelihood of these teams winning the East next year. So I'll give you my list of 8, and then I'm going to say mm-hmm or mm-mm that list is correct.
Okay.
I don't know how else to do it, but like I put Celtics 1, even with Tatum. If you said you get $1 million if you're right and nothing if you're wrong.
As my high school group of friends say, we say this a lot when we don't want to like tell someone that they're an asshole, but we want to be polite. We say, let me stop you right there. Let me stop you right there. I don't understand why you have the Celtics at 1. It invalidates this whole list for me.
$1 million if you're right, nothing if you're wrong. Who would you put ahead of them?
Cavs, Knicks, Sixers.
I mean, I'll take
Celtics.
Yeah.
What's their lineup next year?
I am still shocked. I don't want the Celtics to represent the East. I'm still shocked that even like before Tatum got hurt, that they looked the way they looked. I still think they are even. I kind of like this Simons for Drew Holiday trade. I still think they're going to do something else. But if it's like, oh, we traded Porzingis, like who gives a shit?
Okay, Horford's gone,
and I think Cornet's due too. I don't know who their big is.
I don't know.
One of them's making. It's not Cornet. Who's the other guy?
Well, Hauser.
Yeah, he's making $10 million per.
Yeah,
I think more. Although Chris Mannix tweeted earlier today that plenty of teams are showing interest. He also turned off replies for the tweets, so I don't.
For Hauser?
I'm looking. I'm digging up the tweet. He said Hauser, Sam Hauser, a 40+% three-point shooter, has generated strong interest. He will begin a 4-year, $45 million extension next season.
That's the same contract, by the way, that Chris Middleton first signed that Bucks fans were irate about.
In a totally different, and like, yeah. So I do. I mean, again, if it was my $1 million, I would take the Celtics to win it. Here's the thing I would say about. So here I'll go. Celtics, Knicks, I have it 2, Cavs 3, Magic 4, Bucks 5, Pistons 6, 76ers 7th, and Pacers, the Halliburton list Pacers 8th.
I think you are nuts. I'm closer to putting the Pacers 1 than I am closer to putting them 8th.
Without Halliburton?
Yeah. That's a
to win the East.
Okay. Hold on.
First of all, I think those are the 8 teams, right? You're not missing the Heat are bad.
Heat, Hawks, you could consider.
Hawks are bad. Wizards, Hornets. There's the other team.
Bulls.
The Pacers are good. Why is everyone denying the Pacers?
Hold on. Let me just clarify one thing real quick. I don't mean best regular season record. I mean actually winning the East in May to go into the finals in June with the scenarios as they're laid out, where Tatum and Halliburton and Dame and all the things.
You're not ranking playoff one. You're not doing seeds here.
No, not
We're
seeds.
talking about a playoff result. Okay.
Likelihood of.
I think I'm going to seed it on Thursday.
Go for it. But like for me, it was like likelihood of actually representing the East. I do actually then, after I put the list together, I did find what the odds are for teams to win the East. And Grand, you'll be, especially given your reaction, surprised to learn that they had the Pacers 8th.
Well, they didn't. They're still 11-1 to win the title.
I'll go find my list. Maybe it's something you saw something different. I'll go find it. But anyway, so what else is wrong? So you'd put Pacers closer to 1st than 8th. What else do you guys like?
No, I just think let's just talk about the Celtics, the Bucks, and the Pacers. They all lost one of their very important players to an Achilles injury. Don't you think the Pacers are the best equipped of those 3 teams to still compete and play at a high level and win basketball games?
Celtics. I'm not saying like
it's lose guys. They're gonna lose guys. I think the Pacers are deeper.
They are,
and they're younger. I think they can run. And I guess my first thought was navigating an 82-game regular season. I think the Pacers should still be able to do a pretty darn good job. Where I think the Bucks will struggle And I think the Celtics, to a lesser degree than the Bucks, will also struggle. Winning in the playoffs and winning 7-game series without Halliburton, either at all or without him at 100%, that's a little different. But I think 8th I think that's nuts.
All right, Cavs are 1.
Yeah, God, you guys aren't like completely out on the Cavs after what we just watched?
We should be.
Also,
but we also shouldn't be. They got beat by Indiana. Who was a Halliburton injury away from winning the NBA Finals.
let me give you my pushback. Let me give you my pushback on the Cavs. I looked into this a little bit. I want to do more research on it, but it is not. It is more rare than it is common for a team to go from not the conference finals to the finals. So, like, even if you look at the 2019 Bucks Eastern Conference Finals, then they won the East, and yes, then they won the finals. But I'm just talking about getting to the finals.
Who was the last team to not make a conference finals and then win the finals the following year? Oh, it happened on Sunday.
Again, there's going to be examples, but like if it was my $1 million to win, I would rather choose between like a team that either had just won the title, like even I would include on the West, like the Nuggets, in the East, the Celtics. I like that is a thing.
Well, let me stop bearing the lead here.
Hold on, the Cavs. Donovan Mitchell's never been to a conference finals in the West or the East. You always talk about how Embiid has never been to an Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
So I just think that that's a bigger jump, which is what puts me have the Cavs below even the Knicks and the Celtics. I like that they've been there and they've done that. It gives me confidence for my $1 million.
I love how you say. I love how they've been there and done that. I just like how you.
Thank you.
Worded that. That was good.
To no longer bury the lead, the Bucks are 8th on this list.
Okay.
We can't just do the thing we did and then argue that they're better than any of these teams.
Again, I had them right slightly ahead of the Pistons.
I like the Pistons.
I like the Pistons too. Are the Pistons going to win the East?
I'm going to put money on it.
The Magic are going to win the East. You're high on the Magic, but the Pistons is a bridge too far?
If the Pistons, and you're going to hate this because you hated it in our text message, if the Pistons had gotten Desmond Bane, I would be higher on the Pistons than on the Magic. I think the Desmond Bane swing factor, as it's called, the DBSF, as it's commonly known, I think that's a big enough swing to go from Magic over Pistons. Now, the Pistons might still have a move like that. And if they do, I would probably have them pretty easily leapfrog the Bucks. But again, we're talking about 5th and 6th. But by the way, I did find here's what the odds are in order: Cavs, Knicks, Celtics, Magic, Sixers, Pistons, Bucks, Pacers. So I had the Pacers 8th.
Yeah, so put the Bucks last, and who's after the Celtics?
I had Cavs. I had Knicks 2.
What is the real list of odds?
The real list are Cavs 1,
fine,
Knicks 2,
okay,
Celtics 3.
Who's 4?
Magic.
Yeah, I'm tempted to put the Sixers at 3.
Sixers are at 5 on this odds. On the odds, I put them at
Sixers, Pistons, Magic, Celtics, Pacers, Bucks.
And then, by the way, the 9th and 10th place teams on the odds are the Hawks 9th and the Raptors 10th. So they have the
unless
Raptors
you think the Knicks are hiring a moron, I feel like the case is pretty good for them to win the East. Or it should be.
And they were in a conference final, which is all you need to do.
And they lost.
That was my logic.
They lost to a team that was really good. And I think probably would have won the finals if Halliburton doesn't get hurt in Game 7. So I would probably say Knicks. Cavs, I suppose. I just think, and look, winning in the playoffs without Halliburton is another thing. I think the Pacers is a regular season team next year. And I'm not going to say bet the over on because I don't care. But like I think they're as well constructed a team to navigate a regular season without their best player than just about anybody else. Way better than the Bucks and the Celtics, I think.
I agree with that.
And I guess that's my point. So if you want to put them 8th to win the title, that's fairer than my original reaction would merit. I apologize, Paul.
I forgive you.
I would just like to remind people that today's episode is brought to you by Happy Place Hemp. The promo code is Bart. Let's take a look on the Dan Shaney YouTube stream, if you would, at the delicious seltzers that you can get yourself in on right here with the cherry. Now that's going to give you that's the 5 milligram right there. That's a nice one to start you off in the morning. Then you got the citrus. That's a 10 milligram. That's good on the train ride back from Chicago. And then the 20 milligram. That's good when you're getting after it on the the Midnight Express, as it were. Check out all of this. HappyPlaceHemp.com, the seltzers, the gummies, the tinctures. They got doggy treats as well. Check it all out. Help you relax. HappyPlaceHemp.com. 420 is coming up too, so get your orders in. 10 minutes away, but never too early to think about it. And some people probably, I forgot. 420. HappyPlaceHemp.com. Put in the promo code BART for 25% off every order. This is Into the Winklerverse on the Dan Shaney YouTube stream.
What a reset.
Get your voicemails in on the Carl's Place voicemail hotline.
Here's a
402-915-BART. And I am not sure if my code works at Omaha Steaks.
It's worth a try.
I think they still owe me $12.
I had an aunt.
Aunt.
I knew you would. Yeah, I'm just going to say aunt. I had an aunt that worked for Nike.
Auntie.
And we kept using her employee code to get 20% off 5 years after she left the Johnson Creek outlet store. We were making out like bandits with that thing. So I'll try your code at Omaha Steaks. Sure.
Mm-hmm. I believe it's either Bart or Winkler. I never know. I think it's Bart.
Well, if anyone should know, it would be you. So,
all right. Here's kind of a two-parter. Got to answer both of them.
Oh, I also signed up for two things to endorse that I know nothing about. But in case you see tweets in the future for Paluva footwear or what's the other one? Jock socks. Please click on the link and order.
This is good. I mean, this is a great start to a partnership. Great start.
They always end well, though.
They do.
They end with the guy going, "Well, that didn't work."
I think I heard a part last night where you talked about radio ads working or whatever.
Then I played the theme song.
What
radio
was it
gets results.
Radio gets
results. I played the song last night, the whole thing.
Did you really?
Yeah. Carlos had no idea. I go, "You didn't work at a small town radio, dude. No matter where you're going, no matter where you are, radio gets results. That's radio." Well, because I always tell the story when I was at a phone company. I don't remember where in Fond du Lac it was, but it was right over the Verizon. And come on. And we did a remote there.
Horizon.
Yeah. we did a remote there, and I'm like, "Hey, it's Bart Winkler, Capital 7.1 Saturday at the 70s. Come on down to Verizon. We have free activation for you and $25 off each line. Here's a little more Christopher Columbus." Or Cross.
Columbus?
Cross.
Chris Cross.
And then, a song played, and then you're at a phone remote. It's like, okay, well, I guess I'll go look at all the phones again.
That's what I would do at Play It Again Sports. Look at the ice skates.
And then they go, "You've been here how long? 25 minutes? We haven't had anyone walk in yet." And I'm like, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen right now. No one's coming. But later tonight, someone's going to come and say, "I heard it on the radio about free activation."
Yep.
And you're going to say, "Oh, you missed the window." And then they're going to be mad. And then I said, "You're going to get people tomorrow. You're going to get people 2 weeks from now. You're going to get people 7 weeks from now that come and say, I just heard you on the radio." That's why we're doing this. Now, God bless them, my grandpa and grandma came to every remote I had. And then people are always like, "Oh, who's this couple in the buying age, purchasing power that never bought anything, but just came to see me?" I mean, my grandma loves me, but she's not going to fucking activate a phone just because I'm on the corner of Rolling Meadows Drive and Scott Street.
She doesn't love you that much, it sounds like. Mine were much more approachable. Z93.
What?
No, I was just going to say, Z93, we'd be live at Play It Again Sports. You come on in for 50% skate sharpening and stick taping as the kids get ready for hockey season. And they would come in, the one right by the Chuck E. Cheese out in Onalaska.
So people were like, oh, perfect. I just needed my skate taped.
The stick gets taped. The skate gets sharpened. Tongue twister.
You got to give them like something free.
It's Play It Again Sports. I mean, they basically
I know, but who's driving around on one side of Fond du Lac and they're like, oh, fuck. I have an hour to get free activation?
Well, my remote makes more sense than yours. People don't buy a phone on a whim. If I have 4 kids who all play hockey, I am getting there. It's like on our way home from church when you see Great Clips has 50% off haircuts. My mom whips the car into the lot.
You know what they did give me, though? Did I ever show you guys this?
I love how he waited until you started asking your question, Paul.
It always, I mean,
you haven't showed us, Bart. When would you have showed us?
I think I'm just done acting surprised. What?
Verizon. They gave me a free phone for a while. And then they gave me this sweet duffel bag.
Oh, that's cool.
Is it a bowling bag?
No, but it's a cassette.
No, I see the pattern.
If you see it, there's 2 spiders, one living, one dead. That's how often I use it. Anyway, Jock's Socks, promo code Bart.
This is a 2-parter, you were saying, Paul.
2-parter. Oh. Jacob Misiorowski versus Paul Skenes.
I might go.
Is a big deal even on the national scene, but would be a huge deal if these 2 guys pitched against each other, say in a Yankees Mets game or a Yankees Red Sox or so my point is so let's answer as a 2-parter. 1, this is a big deal pitching matchup.
It is.
So I think it's pretty obvious. If this was, even like Cubs Mets, Skenes versus Misiorowski, this is big enough to lead a national nighttime sports radio talk show.
Well, I know it's a big deal because the guy.
If you go on live, so let me just say, if you go on live at 9 p.m. and we're in the 6th inning of, a pitching duel of 2 names, because it's not just that these are 2 good pitchers. They're 2 pitchers, more so with Skenes has a little bit more of a reputation, but Misiorowski's coming on like crazy in terms of the name and the marketing around it.
Definitely on the come.
Thanks, Bill.
Yeah.
I don't know. When I heard it, when I thought about that way, I just thought of I said, like if this was a game, I think it's unfortunate that it's happening on an afternoon and not a nighttime, because this is one that I would do everything I could as commissioner of the league to be like, actually, no, this game is now happening at 7 and we're moving it to ESPN. Like, I think it's that level of opportunity for the league. And even if the Brewers and Pirates capitalize, I'm worried that it will get lost otherwise in the ether of, all the things happening. But anyway, so the pitch map's a really big deal. If happening at a different time or in a different market would be a huge, huge deal.
It's a big deal. I got the guy that sends me odds emails. I already got a special email about all the props for tomorrow's game between Skenes and Misiorowski. How many pitches over 100 miles per hour? How many strikeouts? How many runs? Who wins? Skenes right now, the favorite far and away to win the Cy Young. Misiorowski already up there for Rookie of the Year. Another guy with odds already, Chase Burns, who's going tonight for the Reds for the first time. Who I just found out who that was when I read the email from MLB.com while you were talking.
Sure.
Yeah, no, you're right on every corner of it. There's no greater example of that than how no one gave a shit about Counsell going to the Cubs.
Sure.
And that would be a huge deal.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people know Skenes. I'm not sure a nation is caught up to what Misiorowski is yet or who he is.
But though it's flashy enough, like the 102 mile, that's the people that's, you can market that, you can get around that. And if the game was, like I said, 7:00 on national TV,
I thought I was seeing Miz on Thursday at Wrigley because they had the rain delay, and then they made Freddie go. We couldn't get it.
Oh, yeah.
The train got there later than I thought, and so we didn't get there till like the middle of the second. It was already 4-2. I'm like, Jesus Christ. But the answer is it would be a bigger deal if it was probably any two teams.
I don't think so. I think it would be mostly the same.
Huh.
There's no scenario that I can see myself leading the show with it, no matter what teams they are.
If it's Yankees, Red Sox, and both of them pitch complete games, I still don't think it's falls in the forest, etc. type of thing.
Bart would know better than I, but like I think that would dominate an hour of national radio as it's happening, like in the moment. Like Bart, what was that happened last year in the middle of summer? That Skenes. What did Skenes do? There was it took you like an hour and a half. I remember this last summer. Was it his debut? No, there was some. He had maybe he had a shutout through 8. I don't know. There was something that happened in Skenes pitching world.
I remember he dump trucked the Cubs when I was in Vegas, and Twitter was kind of going nuts over it. But I don't know if it was like anything historic. But I remember that game specifically, which would have been last May.
Like if these guys go tomorrow,
Devers faced his old team, and I didn't bring it up till the end of the show. As part of our new segment, WTF, Winkler's thrilling factoid of the night.
Love it.
Not to be confused with Welcome to Florida, a book written by Greg and Vicky Winkler.
You had to feel bad to some level that you stole their acronym, which stands for nothing else. Bart, if these guys both go like 8 innings of one hit ball, how long does it take for you to mention it later that night?
I don't think that I can appropriately answer because I'm most likely going to be there, which is going to compel me to say it more.
But okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Well, I was just going to say,
and if that happens, I will work it in as a Brewers fan.
Sure, but like even like,
but if this was like Angels Padres, I wouldn't even probably mention it.
But okay, so what? Let's use this example. What time is Gelbon? Like 4-ish Central Time.
2 to 5.
2 to 5. So if this game starts at 1:00 and they're both one hit or whatever through 7 through 8, he's gonna pause what he would have planned at 3:30 and be like, "Hey, there's
this." Get a mention as it's happening live.
Oh, but... Really? I see. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. I might be wrong.
Got to get takes off about the Thunder parade. That would still take precedent over the situation that you're describing. I'm not saying that it's like good. I'm just look. I didn't hang the moon and the stars and the sun, Paul. I'm just telling you the way the world spins. Brings me no pleasure.
You might be right. I would say if this isn't like a must-see random game in June on a Wednesday, but if this isn't a must-see game. And pitching matchups, I think, Bart, more than like a Devers going back, pitching matchups have a certain
je ne sais quoi
ability to sell. Like, I mean, it has that extra little piece to it because it's not just like, oh, like Skenes is pitching. Oh, no, Skenes against this new phenom. I think it has that extra level of marketability if marketed outside of the two markets, outside of Pittsburgh, outside of Milwaukee. But yeah, it sounds like I'm in the minority on this topic.
Everyone wants baseball to market their stars. Other than having games on during the day all the time, I think it is what it is. And I love it. And baseball fans do too. And it's a gate sport and people love going, but I don't know that
there should be a baseball game. You should be able to turn on a baseball game at any point in the summer between noon Eastern and 1 in the morning.
Good take. I agree.
Like I know I can turn on. I happen to be home today on a Thursday. I know there's a game on. Oh, it's Monday. I know I'll just follow this game. It at least gets, tinker the schedules as you will. This whole gotta play the schedules are all. There's no routine in the lack of routine.
Wise.
Yeah.
There should always be a game on TV at all times.
Hey guys, I gotta
especially
go.
On
I gotta
holidays.
go. But I really want you guys to continue this conversation. I'm gonna listen to it later, and I'll see you guys soon. But you got to keep going.
Bye, Paul.
Bye, Paul.
Bye, dudes.
I have nothing else to say. Do you have
Well, we're
anything
going
else
to talk a little later. I don't want to get too high on our own supply.
Isn't it the worst being when your closest friends are other radio people and you have chances to talk before and after a segment? It's like, no, save it.
And then my screen will look like this instead. That's more comforting. That's more of a 4:30 box screen. This is more of a 2 in the afternoon box screen. And I always put you up in that corner and then Paul's down here. I feel like that works.
Are we losers? This is our social time. Zoom calls for dozens of people to listen and watch.
Are we losers? That's a good question.
Don't answer that. Let's save it for on air later. Like, what a shitty.
You know, one bit of advice that I saw the other day that stuck with me, besides we're all going to die soon anyway, is people are always like worried what they look like in public and what they're doing and how they're going to be viewed and, you know, what's this person going to think of me? And But then, like, think of you when you're out in public. What are you thinking of? You're thinking of, can I afford this? Do I have time to do that? That I do. Everyone's in their own fucking world. So just be you, be weird, be yourself, find out who yourself is, and be that person.
Is this a commencement speech?
I don't know.
By the way, I think that was a very good showing for us with the Charles Dickens drops, and I think they all went over Paul's head. But I thought that was good.
Well, I don't take him for much of a reader. Charles Dickens wrote in a time where, you know, there wasn't too much advanced stats.
Yeah, he wrote on paper, not in Excel.
Yeah.
Everything I complain about with this Thunder series is like, and this is what the thing that I am hating on is exactly what Paul wants for the world. We kept going, Paul.
Yeah, we kept going. Now we're done. We only went to shit on you.
Thank you for having me into the Winklerverse.
Thank you for letting me have you. Tim. All right. See ya. Thank you for stopping into the Winklerverse.